Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Today I came up with another interesting topic. First hop redundancy protocol. It is not a single protocol, it is a collections of protocol. You can see a term redundancy, and of course, like spanning tree protocol, these first hop redundancy protocols are also used in redundant networks. First of all, let me explain why do we need redundant networks. Just assume as a network engineer, you need to design a simple network. The network which gives high availability. You have user PCs at one end and some critical servers at the other end or in other network. How will you design the network? Of course, it is a network to network. So you need a L3 device. Let's use router. And your router will be acting as a layer 3 since it is a simple network. Next, layer 2 devices. The layer 2 switch to connect our endpoints. And now you designed your network with minimized cost, just 2 access switches and 2 routers. Though the cost is minimized, do you still think you achieved the high availability? No, definitely not. It's a poor design. I'll tell you why. Just assume if this link got failed, any of this single link got failed, then both the networks will be isolated. Or any router or any access switch got failed, then the complete network will get isolated. So, what can you do at the moment? You may add additional access switch in your network. Once you add the redundancy in your LAN part, your network will look like this. Did you achieve the high availability? Though you got the high availability in your LAN part to reach from your endpoint to the gateway, still your WAN network is in single point of failure. And of course, you may add an additional router, an additional link. After adding one additional WAN link and one additional WAN router, your network will look like this. But still, we got one more loophole. If this WAN router got failed, these two networks will get isolated. So to eliminate this, you need to add one more WAN router in first site as well. Eventually, we brought a redundant path in our network. So any of the link got failed, we do have an additional path to reach the destination, to reach another network. In our redundant network, consider the default gateway for our endpoints. In both the networks, both server and endpoint PCs will have two paths to reach the another network. And yes, there are two gateways. Consider this PC. In order to reach the server, which gateway it will choose? Will it choose this path or this path? Router 0 as a gateway or this router as a gateway? Which path the host has to choose? Just assume you are configuring this particular primary path router as a gateway for all those PCs. If this link or this router gets failed, what will happen? You have to change the default gateway configuration in all the endpoints. You need to change it to the secondary router. So with respect to endpoints, router is the first hop. So during the failover times, since you cannot change the default gateway in all the endpoints, we got a solution, first hop redundancy protocol. As I told earlier, first hop redundancy protocol is a collection of protocols. There are three protocols belongs to the type. HSRP, Hot Standby Redundancy Protocol. For CCNA exam, you have to prepare this hot standby redundancy protocol, and the hot standby redundancy protocol is Cisco proprietary. The second protocol is VRRP, Virtual Router Redundancy Protocol, which is almost similar to the HSRP. And the third one is Gateway Load Balancing Protocol. The Gateway Load Balancing Protocol is balancing the load between active devices, unlike the HSRP and VRRP, because HSRP and VRRP are balancing the load between active and standby devices. In this video, I'm going to explain about HSRP, Hot Standby Router Protocol. Actually, the HSRP addresses the gateway issue. I'll tell you how HSRP addresses the gateway issue. Assume this particular network is 10.110/24. If you not configured HSRP in a network, then of course you have to change the gateway in each endpoint. But when you configure the HSRP, actually it has to be configured on the routers. So when you configure the HSRP, then the routers do some negotiation and it easily balances the traffic between them. So let me explain you in detail. Just see this interface. I assigned the interface IP as 10.112 and here I assigned IP as 10.113, but it's a physical interface IP. When you configure the HSRP on the both the interfaces, then you have to give another IP that will be acting as a virtual IP. The virtual IP is not owned by any router. Actually, the virtual IP is balanced between these two routers. Just assume this virtual IP as 10.111. You can use this 10.111 virtual IP as a gateway in all the endpoints. So in endpoint perspective, you need not to change the configuration. When the router 1 is active and the router 2 is standby, this virtual IP is assigned tagged with the router 1's interface. When the link or the router gets failed, then the virtual IP automatically moves to standby router. Let's do the configuration. Even the configuration part is very simple. Here we go. HSRP has to be configured on the interface. I'm in. The command is standby, hot standby router protocol. So you have to use the keyword standby and the version. Let's verify the version. There are two versions, version 1 and version 2. Version 2 provides some extended features compared with version 1. So I'm using version 2. Again, standby. You have to use the group number. Actually, the version 2 provides the extended group number up to 4095. So I'll tell you what is the group number. I am just mentioning the group number as 1 and the IP address I need to assign. The virtual IP address I need to mention. So IP done. You can see the HSRP message here. The router is initializing the HSRP. And preempt. I configured the preempt. Now priority. In HSRP perspective, if you mention higher priority value, that router takes the preference. I am mentioning 110 for my primary router. And you can also define the timers. Hello interval. Let me mention it as 5 and hold time interval. Why we are configuring these timers? Hello interval is nothing but the time in that interval both the routers will exchange the HSRP messages to ensure the HSRP mate is available. So with every 5 seconds the router will initiate the HSRP message, and if there is no response from the neighbor HSRP router, then it wait for 15 seconds. If there is no response within the 15 second, then the router considers the neighbor HSRP router is unavailable and it takes over the traffic. Now the configuration part is done. You can simply verify it by giving the show running config command. You will see the HSRP configuration in interface configuration itself. Just just keep in mind we used the group number 1 in the router 1. Let's do the configuration in router 2. Now I am setting the virtual gateway for this network host. Again standby version 2. If you fail to mention this group number and directly mentioning the IP address or preemptive or priority, it takes the group number as 0 by default. So I need to mention the group number as 1 because both these routers are going to negotiate for HSRP. So both the routers should be in same group. Again in this router I need to mention the virtual IP. I am mentioning the same IP and priority. In the router 1 I gave the priority as 110, here I am giving priority as 100. This is my standby router, so I am giving the least priority and I am configuring the preemptive. Hello timer is 5 and hold down timer is 15. Now the configuration part is done on both the routers. Let's verify it with command show standby. You can see the router is in group 1 and the version is 2 and the state is standby because the priority value of the router 2 is lesser than the router 1, router 1's priority value. And also there is a virtual IP. And just note down one more thing. Here the virtual MAC address we didn't give it during the configuration. The HSRP itself generated the virtual MAC address. We just gave the virtual IP. The virtual MAC generation is automated. And the timer value we mentioned, the preemption is enabled and the active router is the first router and the local router is acting as a standby. Now in the endpoint you can configure the default gateway as a virtual IP. When I ping the virtual IP, I am able to ping. So my router 1 is active. Let's simulate this. And of course, it is reaching router 1. Let me do some small modifications in the HSRP configuration. I am simply changing the priority value and I'll show you what happens if I do that. I modify the priority value and shift the virtual IP to the standby router. At the back end, we also verify what happens. Don't forget the group number is 1 and the priority value, my secondary router is having the priority value of 90, so I need to choose the value lesser than 90, so I am choosing 89. Also I am keeping it in simulation mode. Now I enabled it. we started receiving the HSRP. The secondary router initiated the HSRP and it sent the HSRP message to all the hosts and inform about the gateway change. And I can also see the gratuitous ARP. Gratuitous ARP is used by the HSRP configured devices to inform the network host about the gateway change. By seeing the simulation, you might get an idea now. Both the routers exchange some HSRP messages when there are some failovers. Now I am showcasing a perfect redundant network. There are two sites, two LAN sites, and couple of WAN links. And of course, I am using HSRP in both the LAN sites. So both the LAN network uses the HSRP to balance the gateway. In this first network, I am using the router 0 as a primary router, and in the second network, I am using router 3 as a primary network. Let me trace this and I'll show you how it chooses the gateway. It chooses the primary router. And two packets dropped because of the ARP. It reaches the destination. When it returns, you may see it chooses the different path. It chooses the secondary path. Again, ARP failure. In this topology, I explained the HSRP with only using the router, but we can also configure the HSRP on multi-layer switches. We can configure the HSRP on switched virtual interfaces and also on the routed interfaces. If you use router on stick configuration, even you can configure the HSRP over the router on stick. And yes, that's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button and you can consider subscribing my channel. Hit the bell icon to get notified. And that's all I've got. I'll see you next time with another exciting video. Until then, signing off. See you guys.